Hey guys, so today I just wanted to touch on two things. One seems to be an enormous amount of confusion of what I had been talking about a few videos ago as far as what exactly I'm referring to as conventional training. A lot of people seem to be under the impression that it's more so along the lines of slow, controlled, timer detention, bodybuilding type stuff, but that's really not what I'm referring to at all. Really what I'm talking about is the type of periodization used. I am not really much for the timer detention sort of thing. I think if anything, it might be a useful tool to control volume maybe in a different way, as far as something like maybe pause reps at certain sticking points, something along those lines. As far as the conventional part, basically I was talking more so along the lines of linear periodization or linear along the lines of block periodization. So essentially having a segment of time during your off season, again this is in accordance to powerlifters, to really work on volume and more variation, as opposed to more specific sort of movements like the squat, bench, and deadlift in their pure form, which would be, I guess, more so worked on during a strength or very much emphasized during a peaking cycle. So I was really talking about, I guess, the ways to implement training rather than those certain techniques to use for training itself. I'm really not a big proponent of a lot of the classic bodybuilding type style training. I kind of think you can achieve similar results just by utilizing proper volume and fatigue management. That being said, I guess the second part of this, I really wanted to cover, I guess, training in accordance to goals. And I guess something that I think needs to be harped on a little bit is I've talked about this in my my How to Program series. In fact, episode 1, which was kind of the bottom of that strength pyramid, really focused on how important specificity is in accordance to wanting to get strong in a particular lift. So I guess it really should come as no surprise that the more of a certain movement you do, the better you'll become at it, hence the need to really focus on that lift during a peak when you start to cut the volume of the other lifts down. Then again, specificity can take a backseat during some segments of training. For example, your hypertrophy cycle. And I have had different views on this as time's gone on. Ever since I started working with the guys over at Renaissance Periodization for myself, I found out that it's been a little bit more optimal for me to stay away from those main movements completely. So basically, during my hypertrophy cycle now, I don't do a regular conventional deadlift the entire cycle. I don't do a regular competition low bar squat the entire training cycle. And again, I don't do a regular bench press or regular pause bench press during this entire training cycle. I basically stick to somewhat of a variation of any of these lifts, preferably because it's higher volume. I'll also be trying to work it through a greater range of motion. I can get into this in a video a little bit later this week about why I think during a hypertrophy phase of training that I think training through a greater range of motion might be a little bit more beneficial than even doing your regular old lifts. But essentially, variation is pretty much encouraged during a hypertrophy block as opposed to a strength or peaking block. I'll probably come up with a video for you guys as far as why in particular I think greater ranges of motion during a hypertrophy block in particular is good. I guess probably within, you know what, honestly, maybe later today, probably tomorrow, but I'll keep you guys updated. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.